Hey, Sarah Skezel back with 9-4 Coaching, and we are into chapter 3 of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which is put first things first. Um, this is my favorite chapter by far. Um, this is where, this is where the rubber meets the road, but this is the chapter that I have taken the most. There aren't as many lessons, but the lessons are profound. It's just this idea of acting in alignment with your goals. Honestly, acting in alignment with who you are, right, as a person. And chapter 1 gave us tools to have awareness, and chapter 2, you had to do the work and find out who you are. And now chapter 3 is making sure that your time is, and your energy, more than anything, like more than time, your attention and your energy is in alignment with who you want to be. Even if you're not there yet, chapter 3 really gives some great tools and resources to set up your day, set up your routine, set up your habits to be that person. I'm only going to do one video on this chapter. It is the one thing that I found the most meaningful in the book, because Stephen Covey, obviously part of Franklin Covey, really dug into planners and schedulers and calendars and all the things that are near and dear to my heart. Those are very tactile, and those are fairly difficult to talk about over video. This fundamental principle that I'm going to talk about today is going to allow you to explore and see what works for you. Scheduling, planners, all of those things are so unique that it doesn't really translate onto a one-size-fits-all video. So you did hear some paper rustling. That is this. So I am going to put this. I'm going to link this quadrant in a PDF form. It's going to be on any place where I'm at. This is going to be. This is a replication of the Eisenhower Matrix, and you'll also find it in the 7 Habits. So we'll talk about, when I talk about quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4, this is, when you're in the book, this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to put this off to the side. So I will refer to it. You're going to be able to see it, but I'm not going to hold it up. It's going to take away from the video quality today. So ultimately, Stephen talks about not letting the important be at the mercy of the unimportant. Oftentimes, what I used to do is whatever was the most urgent, I was going to do. And not putting it through that second level filter of, is this important or not? If it needed to be done, then I was just going to do it. And you can do that. That's a thing that you can do. But you are putting important things at the mercy of urgent things. So just as a quick overview, the quadrants are urgent and important. Those are things that are pressing. Those are things that you have to do. Come hell or high water, like, those are non-negotiables. Like, you have to do them. They are important to you, and they are urgent, so they are under a time constraint. The second quadrant is not urgent, but important. So those are things that you need to schedule, right? It's never urgent, unless you're in a crisis situation, to write a thank you note, send flowers, call your friend and tell them you're thinking about them. Getting together with friends. I mean, how many of us have really have people in their lives that they consider very close friends who you just haven't gotten together and it's been 6 months? That's the kind of thing. It is important. They are important to you. Building relationships is super important, but it's not urgent. Quadrant 3 is urgent, but it is not important. So it is not important for you to do. So, for example, it could be reports, it could be some meetings, it could be correspondence at some level, and those are things that you can delegate. It's not important that you do them. They are urgent, so to attend a meeting, those oftentimes are required, but it doesn't have to be you doing it. If you can delegate those tasks, your time is better spent. And then the final quadrant is not urgent, not important. I'm talking about 90% of social media. I call them time vampires. I still take part in them. They are not great. I'm trying to get better. But they are not important. You're not building connection. You're not building anything. You are literally wasting your time doing them. Interruptions, stuff that like you don't need to do. Those are things you need to eliminate. I am trying like hell to do that. But aren't we all? So, putting first things first is holding what you do in a day up to that filter. Like, is this important? So when I fill out I'm going to talk about filling out my personal calendar for the week. And like I said, this is very unique to people. There are folks who get super stressed out about having a long range calendar. I personally come from, my history is like, I would plan 18 months out. Like that was my sweet spot, is I would plan out 18 months and then obviously like adjust and all that. But I felt very comfortable having things on the calendar that were 18 months down the road, planning out get-togethers, planning out weekends away, planning out all that kind of stuff months and months in advance, because it was important. So what I do personally is I'll take you through the beginning of a month, because that includes everything I do for planning, or the beginning of a quarter. So let's say it is the last day of March, right? The last day of the first quarter. So I am going to take that Saturday, and I'm going to look at the following 3 months, so April, May, June. And I'm going to look and see, what do I want to do in that quarter? I will already obviously have plans in my calendar. I'm going to look through that. And I'm going to plan out that quarter. Like, what are the big things I want to accomplish? And I'm going to do those. That's going to be Saturday. Part of Saturday. Sunday, I'm going to focus on the month coming up. I'll take maybe an hour or two, and look through the month. What do I have coming up? What do I have for like my non-negotiables? But getting together with friends, getting together with loved ones, getting together, like making sure the people that are important in my life, making sure that I have a day in my calendar that I am going to engage with them, because if that is the only time that I remember to call home, to call my mom, to talk to my sister, to walk my dog, I know they will at least get done that minimum amount of times, and that is important to me. Then I will have all my stuff scheduled for for the following month, and I'll leave that. Then I'm going to look at my week, and my week is what I take action on. So what are my non-negotiables? What do I know I have to do? I will schedule workouts. I will schedule walks. I'll schedule outside time. I will schedule dinner dates. I will schedule, obviously, like work hours. And I will take like a half an hour to make sure that the important things are already in my calendar so that when Monday comes, I know what I have to do for the week. It's already in there, or I already have to do for Monday. It's already in there. So if something comes up, I know what space I have available because I've already established what the important things are. If something comes up, a crisis comes up, something important and urgent does come up, then I will obviously modify what I have to do, but it's a lot easier to say no to the things that aren't important when you don't have time. If I already have 3 evenings scheduled with relationship building, things that aren't special occasions, but they're my check-ins, I know I'm gonna do those, and I'm not gonna push those aside for an activity that I don't love, an activity that I'm not excited about, an activity that is not important to me. Like, I'm not gonna get guilted into doing something that's not important to me when I know that I've already made plans to do something that is important to me. So that's the crux of putting first things first. It takes a lot of discipline, but you've already done the work. You already know where you want to go, and then it honestly is your decision. You can't leave it up to fate anymore. It is your decision, right? And I don't always make the best decisions, right? That are completely in line with who my highest self is, but it gives me the ability to say that this was my choice, and that's all you can do. No one is perfect by any stretch of the imagination. We're just trying to get a little bit better. So take a look at the Eisenhower Matrix. Take a look at what you are using to schedule your week out. If you need any new tools or techniques, the book is really good. They have a lot of good PDFs. Walk through Office Max, as crazy as it sounds. You're going to find something that works for you. It may take a little bit of trial and error, but at the end of the day, you're going to find something that's going to work for you. So put first things first. Be disciplined. Be your best self. It's going to be great. You got this. All right. I will catch you next time. Thanks.